Okay guys, so I know we kind of rushed a little bit through trig ratios at the end of class today. And so what I want to do is give you a quick chance to kind of refresh that with this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 problems from the homework assignment to help you guys kind of get the idea so that you can hopefully do the rest of the problems. So let's take a look at the first problem. All it wants to know, if we read all the directions up top here, is basically this question here. Which trig ratio is represented in this problem? So what we do to do that is we look at the triangle and we say, okay, first step is we got to figure out where the angle is. That's the first thing you do. You find your angle. So in this problem, 39 is the angle. From there, we need to label our sides. So we label the sides, and what that means is like opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. So we look at our sides from this angle. We're always basing everything off of the angle that we're using. So if we look at the 39, our opposite side is going to be this side. And we don't really have that side in this problem, so we're going to actually kind of ignore that opposite side. But we do have this x over here. That is the adjacent side because it's next to our angle. And then the final side, the 69, that is our hypotenuse. And we know that because that is the longest side and it's also opposite the right angle. So if we look at this problem, the 2 sides that we know any information about are the adjacent side here and the hypotenuse here. So step 3 is once we've labeled our sides, we have to pick the trig function. And what that means is, are we doing sine, cosine, or tangent? So sine, which is so, cosine, ca, and t, tangent for toa. So what we look for is we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So we come over here. O is opposite hypotenuse for sine, so that won't work. Cosine is adjacent and hypotenuse, so that's our function. So that's our answer, cosine. That's really all there is to it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, and that'll be almost instant what trig function you're using. That's the first type of problem. So we have a few more there like that. And this next one is simply just setting up the ratios based off of this piece of information they gave us. So this says that they want us to find the tangent of z. Now this angle that they give us, that's very important. That's the angle we need to look at. So the steps are the same for this. The first part is you identify the angle. First, we identified our angle. They want us to use z, so we're looking at angle z. Next is to identify the sides. So from z, I like to do my opposite side first. So I go across the triangle to the opposite. Then I go to my adjacent, the one that's next to the angle. And then finally, the longest side has to be the hypotenuse. Now, since I want to find tangent, I know that is toa out of my so, ka toa. I'm using toa, so I need the opposite and the adjacent. So I'm going to go over the problem and say, okay, well, 32, that's my opposite side. And then my adjacent side is 24. Now, the directions say be sure to reduce if possible. So I know 32 and 24. I know that 8 goes into all of those numbers. So I'm going to reduce those 2 numbers by 8. So 32 divided by 8 is 4. And 24 divided by 8 is 3. So my final answer is that the tangent of z is 4/3. And that's all there is to that problem. Again, this angle is the most important thing. That tells you what your opposite and adjacent sides are. All right, hope this helps, guys. Use this to finish the rest of that homework, and have a great night.